But the most dangerous damage to your mind may be happening quietly, during ordinary moments you barely notice. Hi, I'm Leo and welcome back to Learn with Leo. Today we're exposing the everyday habits that quietly weaken your brain focus, creativity, and willpower. And the surprising part is this: you may not feel like you're doing anything harmful. You might simply be scrolling, avoiding difficult questions, or choosing the easiest option. That is how passive habits become powerful. They repeat before you ever decide to stop them. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman called this mental shortcut thinking fast. Useful sometimes, but risky when it runs your entire life. Consider your phone. An algorithm can decide what you watch before you even choose. The same pattern can shape your opinions, your schedule, and even your goals. The good news is that your mind is not permanently damaged. Like a muscle, it responds when you challenge it consistently. In this video, we'll first uncover the cost of avoiding mental effort. Then you'll learn 7 practical ways to rebuild your ability to focus, think, and decide. But before rebuilding your mind, you need to understand what quietly weakens it. The problem is not always a lack of intelligence. Often it is a habit of letting something else do the thinking. You ask the algorithm what to watch, the crowd what to believe, and routine what to do next. That feels easy in the moment because decisions require effort, and comfort always offers a shortcut. But a shortcut taken every day can slowly become a mental dependency. Think of your mind like a muscle. What you rarely challenge, you gradually struggle to use. Psychologist Anders Ericsson's research on deliberate practice showed that ability grows through demanding, focused repetition. The reverse is also true. Constant mental passivity leaves your thinking less prepared for real demands. Every time you avoid a difficult question, you miss a small opportunity to strengthen independent judgment. This matters because major life choices rarely arrive with a perfect script. No app can decide which career fits your values, or which relationship deserves your trust. Borrowed opinions may sound confident, but they can still lead you into a life that feels strangely unfamiliar. The good news is that this weakness is not permanent. Your thinking can become active again, one challenge at a time. But when mental passivity continues, the damage reaches far beyond intelligence. It begins quietly with decisions that feel convenient but never truly feel like yours. You copy the popular path, then wonder why your life feels strangely uncomfortable. This is how someone can land the job, apartment, or relationship everyone applauds, and still feel trapped. Psychologist Barry Schwartz called this the paradox of choice. More options mean little if you never choose deliberately. Mental passivity also makes rejection feel like a final verdict instead of useful feedback. One failed interview, business idea, or first draft can suddenly feel like proof you should quit. But resilience grows when you interpret setbacks as information, not identity. Angela Duckworth's research on grit points to the same principle: progress rewards persistence over time. Then comes the concentration problem. A scattered mind produces scattered work. You reread the same email, lose your train of thought, and finish tasks with half your attention. Research on attention shows that switching tasks leaves mental residue behind, even after the screen changes. Over years, these tiny patterns can turn an active life into passive frustration. The solution is not becoming perfect, it is practicing small acts of deliberate thinking. One deliberate step is taking back control of your attention. Start with the habit that quietly steals the most time: endless short-form video. One clip becomes 5, then 50 before you even notice. The algorithm keeps offering the next reward, so stopping feels strangely difficult. This resembles variable reinforcement, a pattern psychologists have linked to persistent behavior. B.F. Skinner's experiments showed how unpredictable rewards can keep behavior repeating. The problem is not one funny clip, it is constant switching before reflection begins. Your mind gets used to novelty, but patience gets fewer chances to grow. That can make a book, meeting, or difficult task feel unusually uncomfortable. So do not rely on willpower alone. Measure the habit first. Check your phone's screen time report and find your real daily average. Then reduce it gradually, perhaps by 15 minutes every few days. Replace one scrolling session with a walk, a page, or an unanswered question. The goal is not perfect abstinence, it is making your attention yours again. And one of the best ways to reclaim your attention is to use it deliberately. Start with a real problem, not a vague worry. Turn it into one clear question your brain can attack. For example, how could you improve a difficult work project? Now list every possible answer, even the ridiculous ones. At this stage, quantity matters more than quality. Do not let your inner critic interrupt the idea machine. This is the principle behind brainstorming: separate creating from judging. Alex Osborne, who popularized brainstorming, called this deferred judgment. Only after the list is full should you become selective. Circle the options that are practical, original, and useful. Use the same process for everyday decisions too. The more options you generate, the less trapped you feel. You are not waiting for someone else to think for you. You are training your own mind. Now, strengthen that independent mind by slowing down what you consume. Because speed is not the same as learning. You can finish an article and still remember almost nothing. That is the illusion of fluency. Familiar words feel like stored knowledge. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman warned that fast thinking often skips deeper examination. So when an idea matters, pause before moving to the next one. Ask yourself, what does this actually mean? Then explain the idea in your own words. If you cannot explain it simply, you probably need more time with it. Take notes, but do not copy everything word for word. Connect new information to a problem you have actually faced. Revisit valuable books, lessons, and videos instead of endlessly chasing novelty. A few slow minutes can create knowledge you can use for years. And once you slow down, the next step is learning to look beneath the surface. That begins with one powerful habit: asking why. When something works, do not just copy it. Investigate what makes it work. A popular cafe, a viral advert, or a high-performing teammate all contain clues. Instead of saying, "they got lucky," Ask what happened behind the scenes. Break the result into parts of structure, process, tools, timing, and decisions. This is the spirit of the 5 whys, a method popularized by Toyota. Each answer becomes a doorway to a deeper cause. For example, instead of asking why a presentation failed, ask where attention disappeared. Was the message unclear, the opening weak, or the examples irrelevant? Good questions turn vague disappointment into useful information. Then research the answer through articles, examples, comments, or people with experience. Curiosity only becomes powerful when it changes what you do next. One powerful way to apply curiosity is to write every day. Writing is not just recording thoughts, it is training your mind to organize them. Start with your feelings, experiences, or one question you cannot stop thinking about. You do not need a best-selling novel. Begin with 5 honest lines. That small target makes consistency easier than waiting for inspiration. Over time, your writing becomes a mirror for your thinking. You start noticing which ideas are clear and which ones are still tangled. This is why journaling can reveal patterns you missed during a busy day. Psychologist James Pennebaker's research linked expressive writing with healthier emotional processing. The goal is not perfect grammar. The goal is honest, useful thinking. After writing, ask, what am I really trying to say? Then arrange your thoughts in a simple order: situation, meaning, and next step. Clear writing often creates clearer speaking, better decisions, and calmer conversations. So write a few lines tonight, and let your thoughts become easier to use tomorrow. And clearer writing is only part of the training. Focused conversation strengthens your mind in real time. Start with one simple rule when someone speaks: put your phone away. That small action tells your brain, this person matters more than the next notification. Then listen for meaning, not just words. Notice the emotion underneath: excitement, frustration, uncertainty, or relief. This is close to Carl Rogers' idea of active listening. Understand before trying to be understood. Instead of preparing your comeback, stay curious about what the person actually means. Ask a follow-up question that proves you were paying attention. Try questions like, what made that difficult? Or what would help now? These questions slow down automatic replies and create genuine connection. Think of a coffee shop conversation where one person keeps checking notifications. The words may continue, but the relationship quietly loses attention. Practice focused conversation daily, and your attention, empathy, and responses become sharper. Now turn that focused conversation into a private thinking ritual. Read a short section of a book slowly, instead of racing toward the final page. Pause when an idea matters, and let it stay with you for a moment. Then take a walk, without turning the time into another scrolling session. Walking gives your mind space to replay what you just learned. Ask yourself, what was the main idea and why does it matter? This is retrieval practice. Remembering strengthens learning more than simply rereading. Psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus showed that unused memories fade quickly over time. A thoughtful walk helps interrupt that forgetting curve before the idea disappears. Connect the lesson to something you have actually experienced. For example, link a psychology concept to a difficult meeting or a habit you want to change. As Aristotle's famous idea suggests, movement can help the mind move too. By the end of the walk, choose one action you can take today. Read, walk, reflect, and apply. That is how information becomes wisdom. And that is the real goal, not simply collecting information, but training yourself to use it. Your brain is not weakened in one dramatic moment. It changes through the small habits you repeat every day. If algorithms comfort and other people make every decision, your own thinking muscles get less practice. Psychologist Martin Seligman's research on learned helplessness showed how repeated passivity can make people stop trying. The encouraging part is that the opposite can also be learned: effort, curiosity, and persistence. So do not attempt all 7 strategies perfectly. Choose one that fits your life right now. You might reduce short videos, write for 5 minutes, or ask one better question. You could also slow down with a book, take a reflective walk, or have one phone-free conversation. The specific method matters less than giving your mind regular resistance. As James Clear writes in Atomic Habits, every action is a vote for the person you want to become. Each focused choice is a vote for becoming more independent, creative, and resilient. Start today, track the habit, and notice how your attention and decisions begin to change. Your brain becomes what you repeatedly ask it to do. So, which strategy will you practice first?